I slept. I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I wept, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I've learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shatter of past actions I grieve, but grievance never really matter. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water, but it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Sage back up in this thing. As always, got my brethren T Smooth, Nino, and Croco's Corner back up in this thing. Squad Nero with another podcast for y'all. Podcast episode 97. If you want to get technical, season 3, episode 53, week 97. Nonetheless, back up in this thing. How's everybody feeling?
Well, I'm doing a little bit better after the news I received on Friday, but that's neither here nor there. I got to see Scream 7. Nice, fun, campy movie. Enjoyed it, even though others probably didn't. I don't care. Enjoyed the franchise. Other than that, just started playing RE9 today, and I got about 14-15 hours in Pokemon Leaf Green since it dropped on the Switch 2.
When did it drop?
It dropped Friday at 9:30, right after the Pokemon 30th anniversary direct.
Yeah.
And you got 15 hours?
I was hoping that they had Pokemon cards, and they didn't.
Here's the thing: when I was playing 2K with the guys yesterday. I had it up on one screen and playing 2K on the other one. Because all you gotta do is walk around and just tap A. Yeah, I can either play a handheld or hook it up to my TV.
Right.
Okay.
So it's easy to be able to get those hours. So, especially like Pokemon games, I have an addictive personality when it comes to those.
Okay, I got you.
I got 4 badges in 15 hours, so and only 16 Pokemon caught.
I wish I had a Switch because I definitely would do that.
Well, I've been
better get one before them prices go up.
I know.
It's probably
RAM prices
too
are
late.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
How's everybody else?
DU was going?
Yeah, I've been good. Chilling. Went to see that movie. What is it called? Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Yeah, I saw your review on it.
Yeah, it could have been a really good movie, but it didn't take itself serious in certain situations, and a lot of characters didn't need to be in the film. I don't understand that. Like, they wasted somebody for like an hour and a half. But other than that, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was good to see something different. But yeah, I've been chilling though.
Nice. I got Resident Evil as well, so I played a little bit of that this weekend. Going back and forth as to whether I was going to get it or not, and then I got it. I will say this. Okay, y'all remember that era? Excuse me. Y'all remember that era where, like, two people in this room, y'all probably are each other's era at this, but where you would play, like, with your older cousins, games that, like, you couldn't play?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got that experience this weekend with Resident Evil. It was really, really cool to see it as like the older adult in the room side of it all. Boy, I tell you, that's a treat. You ever get an opportunity to do that, I recommend it. Outside of that, nah, it's been a chill week. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, both got it on the PC or
Nah, he got PC. I got it on P5.
It looks so pretty on PC. Oh my god!
I was downloading it.
I
was downloading it while we was waiting, so hopefully I could play it on the.
Yeah, you better hope I'm not playing it though.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, because Steam you can only play it one at a time.
Yeah.
And then Orange playing it too. So.
Nonetheless,
you better pick your time, buddy.
It's been a pretty chill week. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of joints. Hell's Paradise, mainly. Finally caught up to that joint. Fate, Strange Fate.
How you like
Caught
it?
up to that joint. Fate Strange Fake. Oddly enough, it. I had a lot of questions at first, obviously, because it's my
Mm-hmm.
first Fate series. But after I watched the video real quick to tell me and break it
Yeah,
down, it made a whole lot more sense, and now I'm actually able to appreciate it a lot more. It
yeah,
shit looks. The concept is super fire. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of reminds me of what is it, Ragnarok,
yeah, yeah.
where the gods and humans fight. It kind of reminds me of that kind of.
Yeah, they did it a little. So that's where I was trying to get T, because T has seen other Fate series before.
Mm-hmm.
He and his issue with it is one that I think is actually like a very reasonable issue to have with it. Is this same format that they got Sage is the same for like every
Every
single
single one.
season,
It's just
but
different people.
yeah, it's like a different period in time kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But this specific season has some caveats to it that's different than what has occurred in a typical Holy Grail war. And that has kind of been my selling point into trying to get T to watch it. But I ain't gonna hold you. It like
It
I
doesn't
thought
seem.
about I thought about like when I was referring that to him, because I do enjoy this season
Mm-hmm.
personally. But he probably like with the mentality that he has on that, which again is one that I completely understand, he still might have a hard time even with the caveats that they do have in this season.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I kind of walk back saying that to you, but I also don't, because it's just like if you already seen enough of the seasons to understand it, it may still be worth it for you to see those caveats. It just kind of is one of those things where if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. And I will understand both ways. But yeah, I like that. Tapped in on that anime.
Alrighty then. Let's do this. We got some honorable mentions for the week. I don't know if any new Absolute comics came out this week. I believe so.
Just Wonder Woman and
Martian came
Martian
out,
Man.
yeah.
Wonder Woman and
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter. So make sure y'all tap into that. Also, from DC Comics, you got the Dakota Incident History of DC. That also includes Static Shock. So for Black History Month, you might as well just go on to your local comic book shop and just show some love, just so DC can understand. Maybe we need to start actually using this character in live action more, and possibly expanding out his story and how we can include that with the greater DC universe as a whole.
Just to add on to that real quick, I'll be short, I promise. Here's the thing. I'm gonna do it in bullet points, so I'm quick. It has to prove itself. So
Yeah.
sales is gonna be what determines whether the story continues, reasons why you should purchase it. Second of all, it comes from Milestone Comics, which Milestone was purchased by DC. So it's like, if for anybody who doesn't know Milestone, Milestone is kind of like a black appreciation of comics and comic characters, or necessarily that appreciation wouldn't have been in a main line like DC or Marvel in the past. That's like its whole thing. So for the people who watch our show, probably something that is kind of aligned to something that you would care about. Third reason why, it's a really great story that has a nuance on not only themes that's kind of happened in the past, but also themes that we are currently seeing right now. And with the recent news with DC, we may not get something, or excuse me, with Warner Brothers, we may not get something like this in the future. So it's more reason for you to invest in it now so we can get as much of it as we possibly can. That's it.
All right. Yep. So tap in local comic book shops, please, so we can light the fire under their ass. Another honorable mention: Marvel Wolverine has officially dropped their release date, which is confirmed for September 15th, a couple of months before GTA 6, which I believe is dropping in November, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Hmm.
All right. Crimson Desert recent trailer. I'm gonna see if I can actually. Would it be easier if I just shared my screen?
Yeah, it
Okay.
should let you.
Is that the game you were sending with with the crazy graphics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, which one is it? I think it's this one.
Today, a new chapter in this land's history shall be written by our own hand.
We fight those who wield power to prey on the weak. Beasts who think themselves men. That is what it means to be a Greymane. The time has come to do what we believe to be right. Cliff, seek out your Greymane comrades. Uncover the truth that lies within. And let your heart speak without fear.
In the end, all will come together as one. We fight for the future of all. Sound the horn of our final battle. Fight! Fight for Pywell!
Your fight is not for revenge, nor glory, nor pride.
This is your hour.
Remember who you are, and let it guide your path. For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.
Yeah, that joint look clean.
Funny enough, real quick before y'all give y'all thoughts on that, all of the trailers that we've seen before that recent trailer was all PC gameplay. This is the first time that they actually showed off console gameplay. So to see even the fact that it seems like the consoles are keeping up, obviously PC is gonna take it a whole nother step, but the console gameplay still looked pretty fucking clean. Which a lot of people, again, the optimization has had a lot of people wary about this game. But how did y'all feel about that?
I mean, I thought it looked pretty good for console gameplay. I was wondering if that was like actual gameplay, if there was like cutscenes included in that.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay, yeah, I can see that. But dang, now that you mentioned that, yeah, the PC gameplay definitely looks tight.
Cleaner.
Damn, I thought that was for console too, but no, with that being PC gameplay, that changes my perspective on it. But no, I still feel like the game could be good, be a solid game.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think that this is going to be one that I get. I'm not exactly like as knowledgeable, I guess, on like the lore and everything that's kind of attributed to this game. Kind of going in blind for the most part, but I kind of like the idea of that because it just looks like a game where it usually takes me a long time to play games anyways, or at least like complete games anyway. So I think this would be one of those games where like I could play it and enjoy it for a very long time and have a level of like satisfaction from completing it. So yeah, everything looks solid about it. I'm interested to just kind of learn more as I play, but everything about it looked good.
How about you, T?
I'm looking forward to playing it. It may not be like my main game to really play because multiplayer is not available for this right out the gate. So it's gonna be a single player game until we get the multiplayer aspect. And I'll probably be more inclined because nowadays, as a father and husband and father, I don't have much time to game like that. Single player games especially. So I would rather play with the homies than play by myself. Like Resident Evil is like one of those games that I will burst through, get done, and then get back to playing multiplayer games. So Crimson Desert, I like the concept. I like everything about it. No microtransactions or anything. But I really like the fact that there's potential for multiplayer there. It's just that we gotta wait for it.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, that's just on that point that T said. I'm starting to notice that like it does seem like games like if you're really busy, it does seem like games that have even if it is a story mode, but like a story mode where it's like like your friends can play with you essentially. It does help. It helps a lot, like cutting down the time, kind of just advancing through the story faster. I've been like, I kind of appreciate this a little bit more. I thought I would hate it, but nah, I kind of like that style.
A story mode with friends. I mean that.
Yeah, like Monster Hunters is like that, where it is a couple missions where I was having a hard time with it. I hit up Sage and was like, "Yo, hop on, let me beat this." Same thing with Borderlands. Like, yo, I can't get past this. Hop on, and then that once I get past that part, I could get like, I might get past through the rest of the game faster, as an example. Whereas it's kind of like the grind when it's just a regular single player story mode. You gotta figure it out and figure it out and figure it out. And when you don't have a lot of time and you kind of keep running into that, it can kind of sour the game a little bit because it might take 6 months for you to finish that game just because you don't have the time to like really sit there with it and figure it out.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Just like T was saying, just to bring up a comparison, just like T was saying with that Pokemon game where he put in 15 hours already, this seems like a game that you could also possibly put in. It's easy for you to put in 10, 15 hours quite swiftly playing it. So it's going to demand a lot of attention. Again, still curious to see how the optimization is, but hopefully they get it taken care of. My bad. I was saying shit. All right. Make sure y'all remember to like, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below. Just in case if you ever agree with anything that we say, if you disagree with us, let us know down in the comment section. We would really appreciate that. Let's get down to our main topics. It's gonna be a quick show. Not a lot happened, but the stuff that happened was very monumental. What's the word? What's the right word for it? Paramount. Wink, wink. We might as well get into it because I'm pretty sure we already brought it up at some point in time. But Paramount, if you haven't been abreast to what's been going on with the Paramount, Netflix, and WB deal, Paramount ended up increasing their deal in order to get all of WB's properties from the cable side as well as the streaming side from HBO Max, and the cost has just is just too much for Netflix to want to make the deal happen, so they have bowed out of the deal. This does not mean that Paramount just automatically assumes control of WB right now. You still have to go through state law in California. You still have to go through a federal probe into the deal to make sure that it was what's the word done legally or under legal pretenses. So, if you know anything about Paramount and Skydance and the people that's controlling it, then you'll probably understand with who's in charge right now that it's very well likely that this deal can go through. Never say never, but here's the situation that we're in now. And I'm curious at how y'all feel about this specifically.
Wait, what you mean can go through? I thought it did go through.
No,
No,
so
they still
no,
gotta go through
they still got to go
legal
through legal.
processes.
Yeah, they have to go. They have to pass through California state law and the federal government in order for the deal to actually go through. Same thing happened with Disney and Fox, if I'm not mistaken. That's why it took so long for
Yeah.
them to use. Even though we knew, hey, Disney bought out Fox, it took years before they even started bringing up mutants. Still, so it takes years for these things. It's such a big deal with a whole lot of moving pieces in it. They got to make sure that everything is done by the book, I guess.
In
Um,
that in that respect, the only thing that I could see why Paramount could possibly not get like the deal could not go through is it's a lot of debt tied to this
mhm, mhm.
deal. So like I don't know exactly how in a courtroom that like plays out, but like I can't imagine it helps to make their case. I just don't know how much weight that has in a decision. If it has a lot of weight, well, this might not go through.
The crazy thing, yeah, and if it doesn't go through, the crazy thing is HBO Max gets a payout because of the termination fee for the deal not going through, not only does HBO or Warner Brothers get a payout, but Netflix would get a $2.8 billion
Yeah,
termination fee.
they
Said
like automatically
billion.
getting that billion. Yeah,
2.8 billion because
that was
Paramount
one of the
Skydance
things.
replaced them in the deal.
Yeah, that was one of the things Paramount used as leverage as well with the WB shareholders, is they said we will pay for the termination fee with Netflix, and so that way you don't have to shoulder that debt as well. And on top of that, WB has its own debt, which is a question of like how much of that is going to come into Paramount's hands once they, bro.
My bad. Netflix already got the fee.
Oh, they
As
already
as
got paid
as
out.
soon as Paramount came in and did that thing, now they're all automatically awarded that fee now.
So are they gonna? But that's the thing. Are they gonna reimburse WB for it, or is it just money hasn't been
No,
paid
that's
out
just a
yet?
termination or a reimburse WB for paying
Oh, okay. So
Netflix. No. It's Paramount Skydance that would have to pay them.
right, but
So
the deal ain't go through yet? So is it in terms of Netflix getting their money? Did they already get it, or is it once the deal completes, that's when the that's when the payment would be due?
I don't know. That's the great question, which I don't think
Because if WB
they'll
had to shell
say.
that out like yesterday,
Yeah, that'd be OD.
It seems like once they walked away, they had to pay them that fee, probably within obviously like a certain time frame, I would assume.
yeah,
But it seems like as soon as they walked away from the deal, then they're
it
automatically awarded that.
automatically is kind of triggered. Oof.
Yeah.
So that means that WB likely, because this is going to be a longly uh, court procedural process,
Yeah.
that means that WB is going to have to pay that fee up front,
All Netflix had to do was join a goddamn
which is
deal fiasco and come out $2.8 billion richer.
okay.
Stock
So this is
stock
making more
rose
sense.
after that too.
This is making more sense why Paramount would have to still pay WB money if the deal doesn't go through. Because if WB got to cough that money up, a company that's already in debt, before any deal can even be like before the process of a deal can even essentially be underway. Oh my God, this is not a good. This whole setup, like all of this, is not. This is a mess. I think it's fair to call this a mess.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this is.
How much
We haven't even talked about IPs and IP management. We haven't even brought that up yet. We talking about legal proceedings and how just the legal proceedings in and of themselves is a mess. Now we talking about properties, and I mean the thing is both companies like this is why it doesn't add up to me. Paramount is on a loss.
Do y'all think
Warner,
that
yeah,
110 billion is cheap? Let me not say cheap. I know it's
Not at all.
no,
Okay,
They're going to be
everything
taking on a
that's
lot of
included?
debt. They're going to be taking on a
yeah,
lot
it's
of
it's
that
an
debt.
absurd amount of money. $110 billion. Yeah, no, that's an absurd amount of
Because
money.
remember when we was talking about Marvel, or we was talking about somebody getting all the rights to, or we was talking about this deal. How much would you pay for it? And we were like, oh, probably like 50 billion.
Yeah, that was like we was maxed out. It blew all of our estimates is way above all
Bruh,
of the estimates we had.
I'm looking at shit. I'm like, wait, 110 billion? Granted, they're getting a lot of properties. They're getting a lot of IP, as you all say. But it's like, goddamn, 110 billion?
It's a lot of money. Yeah. And mind again, Paramount. So and that's the thing is Paramount is operating off of loss. Warner Brothers is operating off of loss. A company operating off of loss is buying another company operating off of loss. Now, granted, they bring in revenue, but that again, you got to count debts in there, and they both have lofty debts. So I just don't understand. Like when you square everything away, it's like, where do you get more money? Unless Paramount were to invest in another loan that would then be able to fund projects with the new IPs that they have. I don't understand where. I don't know. Maybe the Ellisons will just like throw more money at it, but dude,
This shit about to look crazy as far as the media, too, though.
Let me throw
yeah.
another
Oh
wrench.
yeah.
let me
Oh
throw
yeah.
another wrench in this tool bag of tomfoolery. Supposedly, on X, there was actually a leak going around where WB, I think his name is David Zaslav.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the CEO for WB.
Mm-hmm.
They said supposedly he's like this is his game plan. Truly, if this Paramount deal, which is gonna have to go through a lot of scrutiny, if it doesn't pass, not only from the U.S. but also supposedly the EU as well. So if it
Oh
doesn't
wow.
pass,
Okay.
he's like, we're gonna recoup that money, the however amount of $1 billion Paramount is gonna have to pay us, and then we're gonna get straight back to work. So if that's the case, a lot of people are speculating that WB might actually just cut ties with his cable studios, saddle them with the debt, keep the streaming on one end, and then focus on that. Use that money to recoup, make better projects, pay better actors, developers, directors, all of that jazz, and then go from there. Which I guess could be a viable option, and then
Well,
eventually
this
get
is
big
with
enough.
Paramount.
This is no. This is if Paramount, if the deal doesn't go through with Paramount.
Oh yeah, I can see that. That would, I mean, that would be ideal for them. Is just solve your debt and then use the money that you get from Paramount to kind of jumpstart projects that you've already been in the midst of working on. They still have, like, they brought in, I want to say it was somewhere around 34 billion last year, something like that. So like Warner Brothers, that the and you know the entities that they have, they do have a decent amount of value to them. That was a year where they weren't even executing, let's just say 50% of like their heavy hitters. We got like DC did because we got Superman last year, but Game of Thrones, I don't think that anything was exactly live at that time at last year at all. I don't think that there was a series going at the time. Harry Potter didn't have anything going last year, and they still were able to bring in 34 million or 34 billion. So yeah, like I think that they could, if the deal didn't go through and they just sold the cable side, I think they're 100% could probably, not 100%, but there's a good possibility that something can come out of it. But I think, and that might be where Paramount is kind of shooting themselves in the foot with this, is was it worth it? Like Netflix really probably had the better business angle to it, where it's like, let's not jump through all of the hoops. If we just go streaming, we probably don't, like, as an example, is the EU court part because cable is involved? Because I don't remember hearing anything about Netflix having to go through EU court for that deal when the original deal that they had.
They might have had to, but it seems like, and I'm just reading this from
Cable, I could believe it though, because cable, who knows what's tied to that, and you figure there's different networks, that's American networks, that's tied into other countries. So that's where I could get that the cable part will add on to, especially like going back to D's part, the media side of Warner Brothers. I could see where that could cause other nations to be involved or make it more of an international issue. But like WB streaming, I mean, yeah, it could be in another country, but if it's WB's property, why would that have to go through anything other than a U.S. court?
They about to control so much shit, bro. I'm just looking at the list of all of this.
CNN, Fox, I believe. No,
Yeah, it's
they
a
already
lot.
got Fox.
They already got CBS, but damn, they get the tons over there at CNN.
Yeah,
Everybody
but
about
see,
to
that's
stream
going to be
it.
the thing, though. Like CBS, the difference with CBS is, how many times people say they going, you turn on the news to watch a CBS news report, unless it's like a I'm not saying CBS has this, but like 60 Minutes, unless it's a segment, like a news segment. How often are people saying like, yeah, at 7 p.m. I'm turning on the news to watch CBS? It's just not. And I think Paramount probably plays the safe game with how they utilize them for that. The difference with CBS though is CBS has CBS Sports. So like there's a lot of revenue that can be generated from that without you having to necessarily alienate your bases. Whereas CNN is an already alienated base in the sense of it's a particular type of news consumer who they engage with. And that doesn't align with Paramount's owners' values. So what do you like CNN? If you turn because I talk too much. So if you turn CNN into Fox, how is that really gonna make you more money?
It's,
Putting it simple.
Damn,
it's
the
it's
money is gonna let
it's
you
not.
control the whole narrative
It's
of
the
the media.
control. It's the control. If you could control somebody, at some point in time, the money that they spend is gonna come back to you because you subconsciously controlling them with the over and over feedback loop of propaganda, over and over and
Sure, but
over and over and over again.
I think that at least the typical people who watch CNN understand this stuff and like what's behind the philosophy of Paramount, and I just think they would stop tuning in.
You
I don't
know,
think so because if I
That's
ask my
scary.
mom,
If you right, that's
but
terrifying.
think
you
about this.
know.
I asked my mom, "Yo, you watching the news today?" Yeah, I'm watching CNN. She don't got no idea Paramount bought these niggas.
Hmm.
And then it's
Most
like, okay, you ask.
Yo, we
That's
got to
my
be more
mom.
in tune
You
with the
ask,
things
but I'm saying
happening.
we in the know. We on social media
Right.
and seeing all this getting broken down. The news not breaking down. Hey, about to get owned by Paramount, who's owned by Dave Ellison, whose father was the founder of Oracle, who controls this type of media, who does this and this. They're not breaking that shit down. One day they gonna turn on CNN and they go there for their news, and they gonna be like, huh, Don Lemon sound a little different today. Hey, they not covering this story the same way. And then all of a sudden it's gonna trickle down like, damn, what happened to CNN? And it's gonna be months pass by when they find out they've been bought out by Paramount. A lot of
even
people don't
like
know what's going on.
even like CBS. If you wasn't hip to what's been going on, you wouldn't notice. But everybody that's been hip to what's been going on can see the difference of how CBS covers certain topics,
Yeah.
how they talk about certain things. I was gonna bring a parallel real quick, and then I think we could move on from this. But I was gonna bring a parallel to Fire Force right now. The most recent episode was talking about the world builders and the everyday folk. And the premise of that episode, or one of the premises of that episode, was that humans were social creatures to a fault. Because then, once the mob comes around and says, "Oh, well, we can't trust this girl, or this girl is a whore
Yeah.
because she dresses like this," such so on and so forth. This is just an example, y'all, obviously. Um, so if a couple people say that, now everybody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it's okay for me to do this and all of that jazz." It's gonna be the same thing with this. It's gonna be the same thing with this. Just propaganda. Just
Yeah, it's
keep telling y'all
attacking.
to groupthink, to keep dividing amongst each other, the working class. A lot of people up top is doing what they always been doing, controlling shit from behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is like the power of the older generations. Cause like I didn't even think about that. What Nino said, I didn't even think about that. But like it really do be a lot of older individuals that just don't know. Like they
Hmm.
don't, they won't, they not in the know of like what happened. But they still partake until, like you said, 6 months down the line, they kind of get hip to exactly what happened. But at that point, it could be too late
Hmm.
because the influence in that period before they really understood what happened is still, yeah, that's scary. It's scary, but it
Bruh,
is a reality.
And
think about this shit
And
though.
that impacts families because then you now fighting with your parent. And
hmm
it's like, mm,
You seen all of this stuff with these unredacted files. We all know what we talking about, right?
mm-hmm.
If I mention that to my mom, hey mom, did you see? And I mentioned the adrenochrome. What are you talking about? No, you know the thing that they take it from the children, and then this is sacrifice, and this and this. What? I'm like, this has been going on for 3 weeks. What do you mean? You not hip to this? But you tell me about some shit from Marvin Winans church, and then it's like, yo, like it's not just my mom, even my
It's a
sister.
lot. Yeah.
Not on
Yeah.
Twitter, but she's not. I'm like, yo, like this celeb, you follow this and this, boom, 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 boom. Oh, I didn't hear about that. And then it's just like, okay, so people are really not paying attention to what's going on, but the news not reporting it. So now, if the news not reporting what's in these files already is coming out, imagine what's gonna happen when they get control of all these news stations, all these networks. They go never touch on this stuff.
Going back to Rob's point, it's not that they necessarily would change the framework of it, but they do subtle changes that would then cause people to be alienated. That's some really scary, villainous,
And at the same time,
manipulation.
you are basically putting everybody in a state of chaos who isn't making past a certain amount of money, so much so to the point where we have instances where our older folks or even our younger folks or even folks our age just aren't tapped in because the chaos and strenuous and the stress that they have to go through just in order to have a shelter over a roof over their head, just to be able to pay the bills in order to keep the lights on, just to be able to feed their families. Folks got the real world that they gotta deal with, and they're not even gonna be having
Yeah,
have
it's
the
like I don't got
capabilities.
time.
He don't got time to
Yeah,
do
because
that.
I'll be completely honest with you. I've hit walls like that where like I've been locked in with some of the things that's been happening in the world in the last like 3 or 4 years. But then like I got to a point where it was like, bro, I gotta focus on my like grind, right? Could be, and here's the thing about it is, it's almost because of what I was learning about was scaring me so much.
It's like what's the point of even continuing this?
Like
It's
I'm like,
literally
bro,
the
I gotta,
Matrix.
yeah, bro, I gotta figure. Like you literally get to a point. It's like I gotta figure something out, and then it's so dark, and it gets like, well, it can't get worse than that. It can't get worse than that. It can't get. But then you like it does. It gets worse than that, and worse than that, and worse than that, and then you like, yo, bro. Then you start getting a little paranoid. You like, when is this stuff gonna start hitting my front door? Because the way this hitting,
And what's gonna
And
happen?
the crazy thing is, it's stuff you've been hearing about for years, though.
yeah,
So it's like,
exactly.
bro,
It's not like 1 week or a month. No,
yeah, you hear
years.
about this for years to the point where you graduated college already. I spent 5 years in college, heard about all this stuff, and it's like, all right, cool, whatever. 5 years
And
out of
it's
college,
still
all right,
going.
okay, it's just still going. Then you hear about it officially, you like, well, damn, that's 10 years. Like you said, now I gotta grind, now I gotta get bread. 'Cause if this shit
Yeah,
happen to me, where I'm gonna go?
right. What
If
it's looking like for me.
So it's
Right.
like how much attention can you pay to all of this stuff going on, to these companies buying out each other and changing narratives? It's like shit is gonna be
That's why they
reported
keep
here.
banking on it. This is to y'all
Exactly.
point. This is exactly to y'all point. This is why they keep banking on it. Because they going for the long game. They not going for the short game. They know, okay, yeah, you might be in it for about 4 or 5 years. Okay. Watch how this depress you. Watch how this take you off of paying attention because you're gonna be trying to get to where I'm at, as impossible as that is. You're gonna be trying to grind and bust down as much as you possibly can. And then get all of these different barriers that you face that I don't face, and that's going to eat and wear you down further and further and further. And then next thing you know, if you're not paying attention to it, and they manipulating the information that anybody is that of anybody of the they're manipulating the information that anybody who is quote unquote paying attention to it is actually getting. Now you at somebody who 5 years ago you was on the same side with, you now combative with because you stopped paying attention to the information to where you ain't necessarily as up to date, and they paying attention to false information, and they, oh boy, dude, it's really crazy. It's
But
really
you
crazy.
take into account, it's like with so many stories coming out, everything on the news changed. Like, bro, within 48 hours, this story drops, something else pick up. But for those of us that's paying attention to the shit that's really monumental, that's like, yo, this is something that
Yeah.
everybody needs to know. You got a group of people that's like, oh, did you see this story? Did you see this story? You see this? It's like, y'all, like, there's something bigger than fucking scammers
Yeah.
at gas stations in Nevada.
Yep.
Shit my mom sent me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it'd be something real important that's just like a small blurt, but it'd be like, oh, this impacts us for 30 years.
I'm like, yo, like you saying, this will impact us for 30 years. This shit has been going on for God knows how long. And you got people that's watching news stations that's like, oh, did you see what happened in Alaska? Did you see what happened in Montgomery? Did you see what happened in Mobile, Alabama? It's like, well, damn. Now, if I had a news station, I wanted people off my back or off my friend's back or to look at a certain thing my way, I'm gonna start pumping out bullshit too, so they couldn't see what's going on.
Yeah, you too. It's so much. It's like the actual hard hitting realities are needles in a haystack, where that should just not be the case. Like that should be the things where we all are kind of like, no, I know about this, I'm educated on it, and we need to invoke action in regards to this. But you can't do that if it's a needle in a haystack, because how many people just grabbing a piece of hay? And now you're talking about millions and millions and millions of people grabbing a piece of hay. And then you got maybe 15% of that's actually been poked by the needle. Then you got another 15 that noticed that 15 got poked by a needle and know that that's not right. Yeah, bro.
For the most part, we're cooked.
Yeah, that's how it feel. Like that's how it feel. Like this feel like a chapter out of like a comic book, like the chapter where the villain went in a comic book. This is what that feel like.
I swear, I was just about to say that shit, bro. I'm like, yo, it feels like we really live in a time where, like, it's like when the
absolute universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you reading some shit on the news and it's like, all right, it's time to call the X-Men, but we just ain't got no X-Men.
Right. We ain't got nothing.
We ain't got no nigga wearing
no
a cape.
X-Men. Yes,
Like,
bro.
we ain't doing a bishop. Push come to show. Like, golly. It's like this in a Rogan song. But yeah, a very doom and gloom part of the podcast. But you know, there
we don't get too many sections like this. There is still some. But this is why we pissed that Paramount is purchasing this, because there's that element, and then how you just compared everything to the absolute universe. How quickly does something like that get written out with Paramount having Warner Brothers? True. Where you don't get an absolute universe where they talking about things like this, or like I mentioned before, if anybody who has read this new Dakota incident from DC, like it talks about things that are happening right now in a very digestible way that like even a kid, like a young teenage kid, will be able to understand and be like, wow, this is really messed up what's happening in this to these people. And it's like I love when I see stuff like that in media. And now we will not, like, we don't have that. We potentially won't have that. We won't have things like the Superman arc in the absolute universe, which it addressed real world things that's happening. Or again, like Milestone, the Milestone segment with this DC, with this Dakota incident thing, like it really touches on, like, it's very well done too. But nope, that'll just a year from now, that could be gone. The presence of that.
I was trying to play devil's advocate in the chat earlier, acting like, you know, maybe this Paramount merger wouldn't be so bad. Maybe they do have things in place, but goddamn.
It's so layered. It's like lasagna.
It's like layered. If James Gunn is gone, I'll be happy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care about James Gunn being head of DC. But it's like, damn, there's so much there where it's like I just can't overlook the rest of what's gonna happen to the comic side.
Yeah.
Even to the TV show and movie side. It's like, damn, even if he is gone, like I can't have my boy Scott Snyder gone.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would fill the places too. And I think that they would keep the writers on. They just would give them regulations, and writers not going like that. They not going to just sit back and be like, yeah, you're not going to tell me how to write. This is what I do. Millions of people enjoy how I write. You're not going to give me guidelines on how to write. I can see them flipping and end up doing like, who's the dude that always does it? Goes independent. I can't remember the artist or the writer who does that. It's a couple of them, but I can't remember. I can't think of anybody right now. But like that's what'll happen. They'll go, and there's companies that specifically have like independent lines attached to them, or they have a way for the writer to get more money. Mm-hmm. That's not, because you don't get a lot of money as a writer with DC and with Marvel. But if you go to like what is Invincible under? Image. Like, yeah, if you go to Image, I've heard you get paid more. So like a lot of these writers been staying with DC and Marvel because they love the characters. Mm-hmm. That's why like you'll hear about certain people never go anywhere else. Like Hickman, as an example, he only write with Marvel, right?
I think so. I'm not sure.
I think he does. And he's not doing that because of money. He's doing that because like he really loves Iron Man. He really loves Spider-Man. But if you take that away from people who've been just sticking around with DC because they have had the freedom to write the stories that they want to write, man, I really do think they will bounce and go to a place like Image where they can get more money back on the stories and characters that they create. So it'll be cooked. I don't know, man. It's just nothing looks great about this.
If it's a couple years past and we start to finally unplug ourselves from the Matrix and wake up like Neo did in one of them disgusting pods butt naked, just know we told you here first. It has already started. It has begun.
Yo, and if we wrong, I would be 100% happy coming on here and be like, I showed my behind. I was completely wrong. I'm ignorant. I'm stupid. I will 100%. I do it for every single person on here because I would be too elated at the fact that it is actually okay and that everything is fine. That would be I would be so happy because I've grown up with this stuff. I don't want to see censoring of things that have helped me to understand my own identity and things that I want to deem as important and that I deem as being honorable within one's character. Yeah, if that stuff isn't censored, I'll come here and be like, we were totally wrong.
We'll throw a party.
Yeah, honestly.
If that's the case. Nonetheless, to get out the doom and gloom, another honorable mention that I have supposedly is going around this leak about Cory Barlog. If you don't know, I believe he actually is a pretty big name in regards to the God of War universe, especially the recent not a trilogy, right? It wasn't 3 games. It was only 2, right?
Just 2 games.
The recent 2 games. Supposedly, he is now confirmed to be in a new spinoff within, or creating a new spinoff within the God of War universe. Atreus is not the main character, although some believe that it is because it will be a Loki game. Reveal plan for 2026 with release plan for 2027, supposedly, allegedly. Don't know if it's real, but that's pretty interesting information.
I'm sorry,
Also,
so this is a game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold you. I wish we got more with Kratos though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it was solid.
Yeah, it was solid. I like the Norse mythology. I thought it should have been 3 games. I thought the second game came a little too damn fast. Like just the playthrough, it was just like, damn, that kind of happened a little too fast. Yeah, I thought it should have been the 3rd game, and I thought seeing him go to, I think they talked about having him travel through different lands, like going to Egypt or going to Japan or something like that. I would have loved to see him
that'd be cool.
In that Egyptian era. That would have been crazy. But I mean, he's a more refined Kratos too than what he was in God of War from God of War 3. Or they could have played it like having him go through Egypt before he got to Norse mythology or something. But I'd rather have more games with Kratos than starting a game with or have a new franchise with Atreus. That's just me though.
I don't disagree with that though. Like, yeah, it just kind of feel like a skip.
Yeah.
Like it does. It gives that energy of like a skip happen. Now, I do think that game could be done very well and it's very interesting to think about. It's not to poop on the game itself. But I would have loved to have seen more. At the very least, give me more of a more build up around that entire situation and circumstance than what we necessarily got. Not to say that they didn't do a lot to add depth to that character, but like, yeah, you could have easily did a couple more arcs where we went into some other places and then it had to build up where it's like, when we going to get, instead of them telling us that we're getting this game, we would have the question of when are we going to get this game?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cause it's like, damn, when we see Atreus last, he's with Angrboda, and it's like, okay, cool. When they go off and Kratos lets him go off on this journey, but it wasn't like, well, I could say I didn't care, but ain't nobody really fiending for Atreus game.
Yeah.
I
Damn.
don't know. It might go crazy. It's only time will tell. Only
I don't
time
even
will
think
tell.
that it would be a bad game. I'm thinking about the mechanics of it and everything like that. Like I genuinely think that it is an exciting game, and it is exciting to hear that. I just don't disagree with the points D made.
Alrighty then. Do I do the Resident Evil 9? I guess we can wait till T comes back for that.
Wait, did we even talk about the first look of the game? Of the live action joint?
I don't. That is one of the joints. I mean, we might as well talk about it now. I don't know if that was a real picture or not. Was that actually a real picture?
One of the actors came out and said, "Don't believe everything you see like on the internet." Essentially, like a phrase similar to that. But the point that D and I was kind of talking about before we went live, is it was by Amazon.
Yes.
So like, how is Amazon trolling?
Bro, they not trolling.
Why?
That was a
That was a real photo.
That was a first look, and it got met with so much backlash. They're like, okay, we got to go back to the drawing board. We got to give him some more padded muscles, make him more bulky. Cause like I thought it was cool choosing him. You know, he can have the paint or whatever, but he wasn't built like Kratos. So like, how much time did you give him before you casted him for him to be in that role?
They don't care. Like that's why I love Zack Snyder so much, is because Zack Snyder genuinely cared about that. And anytime that we talk about these things, it turns into a conversation where you like body shaming, and it's not that I'm not trying to body shame this person. I just know when I see the character, in order for it to really feel like that character, there's a aesthetic pop to that character. And Kratos is one of those characters. You gotta have, he's superhuman. Like he is a character, you cannot remove the superhumanness of him. You can't do it. You gotta have the hulking muscles. You gotta have the veins all over. Pause if needed anywhere in that. But you gotta consider those things when it comes to Kratos. You can't just get a guy that's like, okay, he's a muscular, bulky person, but nah, like Kratos is not just that. And I don't know, what I was thinking is when I saw the photo, I'm like, are they gonna have it where he goes into his rage, like berserker mode, where his muscles actually pop out? Is that what this is supposed to be? Because it's just too not Kratos at this point.
I don't think so, bro.
If you got people thinking that this joint is AI, then you obviously did something completely wrong with this. If it is a valid joint, and if I see Kratos leaning over, hold on, let me show the screen so just so y'all can get an understanding if y'all didn't see. Hold on,
and he had a fucking gut.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing. Belly. Like Kratos kind of got that like power lifter frame. So you know how the power lifter kind of got like I call it the baby gut with the 6-pack on it.
Yeah,
it kind of has that, but like they didn't even put like air or spray paint the abs on them. They didn't do any type of attempt. It's just like, here's a gut, here's a beer belly, like Sage said.
Bro, that shit looks absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just not. It looked like a parody or a spoof version of Kratos.
People say it looks like a Saturday Night Live version.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole premise is of the God of War games is like this dude is rough around the edges. He had to see his family die, and now he wears the ashes on his body for the rest of his life. He was a god, and then got stripped of godhood, turned back into a man, and went on this vengeance to destroy every single god that had a part, or all of the gods, or most of the gods, if I'm not mistaken, that had a part in the killing of his family. He's not going to be parenting like this. He's not going to be parenting like this. He wasn't parenting like this in the recent God of War series. Yeah. He just wasn't. He was talking to that man like a grown man. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah. That's a good point.
This just ain't it.
I thought they would have had somebody like, well, granted, I think the casting was good, but Triple H, somebody with that type of stern look, it's like, okay, cool. But like you saying, hands on the like Kratos wasn't no hands on the knees.
Type
All
of
right,
father.
steady your bow.
Ain't no wrong with a hands on the knees father. We probably should have more of those. But Kratos ain't one of them. I'm sorry. He's just not.
He might be observing from a distance while he like sharpen his axe like that. Yeah. My hopes for this series went way down, but you know what? It's like it's a photo. It doesn't have to mean by the time we get to the point of getting like a trailer that a lot of these things won't be corrected. It's just not the best look to have for a first look.
Yeah.
They should have got Alan Richmond to play.
Alan Richardson, yeah. Because it's damn near the same problem I had with Lobo. Why it look like Lobo have on face paint and his skin is supposed to be white? It's like sometimes a practical, like they try to get so practical with these things. It's like it just takes it all like the mysticism out.
Yeah. These superheroes came out of the pop era of art. You know, like they're supposed to pop. It's supposed to be. They're supposed to feel out of place in a way. Like in regards to the world, the nature around them, they're supposed to be figures that stand almost above it and they do that by their build and aesthetic. Like that's how they're able to kind of poetically kind of illustrate that message while at the same time providing a connection, like something that you, the viewer of it, can be connected to and know, okay, that guy's not supposed to be normal. When I look at this photo, and I'm like staring at it right now, but when I look at this photo, I do not look at that guy and say, that guy is abnormal. That is a guy, a regular guy, with some paint on him. Some paint on him.
He gets 6-pack beers every time it's the weekend after he get off his long
this is a dad
schedule.
After a football game, getting too drunk, that took his kid out back, gave him a bow and arrow.
Let's get done, boy.
Tell me that's not what it looked like. Like this looked like it could be
literally
NFL
what it
ad.
looks like.
Yeah, I mean Atreus. I mean, you can get what you get out of a kid, but it's like, damn, my nigga, Kratos is like canonically he's 7 feet tall. Like,
what's throwing me for a loop though is the fact that the child looks like a baby. Like Atreus in the story looks like
I
at
didn't
least
love
10,
that
11.
either. He like we got an older point with him in the game, and I'm not mad if they take liberties in that regard, but it is like to add that aspect T with the fact of what we're getting when we see Kratos here does not help.
No, it does not.
You know,
It's already ain't looking good for them. This whole thing's looking cooked.
It's just a photo. Hopefully, by the time we get to like trailer, I said this to you while you were off cam for a minute, but hopefully by the time we get the trailer, a lot of this stuff is just cleaned up, and this is just them trying to keep people hyped about it. When is it supposed to come out? Do we know? Do we have a date, or it's just still way too early?
Better push it back to
Better not be this
2027.
year.
Better push it back to 2028.
really?
That would be
My probably unpopular opinion. Invincible and The Boys will carry Amazon this year, but after that, everything else in regards to like major box office TV shows that everybody's looking forward to, Spider Noir, this God of War show, everything I've seen from it so far, I don't think it does anything.
Yeah, they got a Lord of the Rings show coming too, and I don't think that's gonna hit.
I think Nick Cage does an amazing job with Spider Noir.
It'd be good for them, because if they can make some seasons out of that, even if that wasn't the goal, they probably should. Because Amazon got like this weird baseline thing about them, where it's like they may not always be like a hit, but like you gonna keep thinking about Amazon because they got things like The Boys, they got things like Invincible. When Gen V was I didn't see the most recent season of Gen V, but when Gen V first came out, it was like, okay, there's that. Then T us, like they even had something with the more. I like a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons series, and I talk to that with people all the time. Amazon has a good version of the Dungeons and Dragons series. They actually got 2 good ones. They just finished the one, and now they doing another one, and it's pretty good. They always kind of latch on to somebody. They had the Power of Light or whatever that show was called. I was watching it, and it was good. And I knew a lot of people who were like into like Dungeons and Dragons or just kind of like magic and stuff like that. They were kind of tuned in on that show. So like Amazon has done a good job of keeping it, like grasping people's attentions, but
Right, even
the
Fallout,
problem is holding Fallout. I'm sorry,
They-
you're right. Even
the show
gamers.
They.
Which one is that?
Remember the
said
All Black
They?
Family, the horror show with the
Yeah,
All
but
Black
they
family?
didn't keep going with that. It didn't. It wasn't a success.
It
Whereas
was-
like the other show, we ain't heard nothing else from it. Are they doing a season 2?
they did a season 2.
Oh, they did.
Yes, it was
I just
connection
wasn't-
to it.
I
That's the
ain't
one
gonna
with
hold you. I was not locked in
what's
on
the
it.
homeboy name? Something James. He played the villain in it. I'll tell you
Yeah,
right now.
I totally missed this one. But yeah, you.
Them,
you
my
look-
bad. It was called Them. But,
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Hey, who the fuck?
Them. Season 2. Season 2. It was, what was homeboy's name?
Why you looking that up though? Yeah, like
Luke
They
James. Luke
okay.
James.
they always
He
find
did an
some way
amazing
though
job.
to keep people locked in to what they got coming. But to Sage's point, is that gonna last? Because we done seen some other companies that we love have like bad phases, and they've seemed to be able to get out of it, or something. But with Amazon, this would be kind of our first kind of phase with them in that regard. Will they survive it? Will it put them in a really big pickle? I don't know.
They're losing one of their biggest IPs this year, The Boys.
Yeah, that's gone. So now you left with Invincible. Invincible can't be. I don't think it's got that much more to go. Like not necessarily in what they tell, but in regards to seasons.
Spider Noir is still iffy because doesn't Sony have a part to play in that too?
If it's good, they'll keep it running.
If it's
But they get
good,
some money from
but
it?
the thing is, if Sony has a part to play in it, I don't know. That leads me to believe
As long
that
as they
dwindles my
part is to
confidence even
get-
more.
Here's my thing. As long as they part is we get a percentage of money, let it keep going. Just let it keep doing its thing. You don't
Sony
have
Pictures
to.
Television is producing it, so they got a part.
Oh, it might be bad, bro.
Oh.
It might not be good. That trailer looked good, but you know how these trailers be. They fool you. They remember when everybody was talking about Craven, me and saying,
Remember
Morbius? Remember
Here's the thing though. They've done terrible with the villains in their catalog, right?
Yeah, this is Spider-Man.
Everyone enjoys Spider Noir's part in Into the Spider-Verse. They enjoyed him. That's why we're going with this. This will show if it does bad, we will get a Miles Morales live action in the next 4 years. Then they will have to go to Kevin Feige saying, "Here, you can take our stuff, make magic out of it, and we'll take a percentage of the cut."
I think we already get one regardless.
I get the point that T is making is like we already know that deal with Sony has kind of developed between Marvel and Sony. This will be like the nail in to his point. This would be like the nail in the coffin where it's like we own the names and the usage, but you make all of the stuff. Starting with the first example of this is going to be Miles Morales, which I 100% think that Marvel would knock that out the park.
They would.
But if you left it up to Sony,
received really well, they're going to hold on to as much as they can with Miles.
Call me the professional hater of the year because I'm going to hate that shit.
Yes, you are.
I'm a despise.
Even if it's good, you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
If it's good, I'll give them their props. But, it's Sony. I just want things to be easier for Marvel to get back to the
other wild card is with Nick Cage. It could go either way.
It could.
It could be really good, or it could be really bad.
Yeah. All right. How do we even get it? Oh, because of Amazon. All right. Resident Evil 9 Requiem review so far. I was gonna actually try and play some gameplay in the background without the sound. While we talk about it, I don't know if that's cool with y'all. I
Do
would.
whatever you want. I don't care.
See,
wish
I
we
think
would've,
you got a little bit further than I did in the game. Did you want to talk about it first?
I don't have much to say because I want to add more to my review. I don't like right now. Currently, I can just say that the action is there playing as Leon. So it's really not a spoiler. They'll let you. So they're keeping with the same objective of, hey, you can play in first person just like in RE7 and RE8. RE8 they came out with like a gold edition where you can go and play in third person. This one you have the chance of choosing, do you want to play in third person with everybody or first person with one, and then first person with
So they
one, third
started
person
out
with the
with
other. So you have a choice of doing that with either Leon or Grace. I kept it with, it said for the better experience, play first person with Grace and play third person with Leon. I'm keeping it like that. It's gonna stay like that. I'm not switching it.
Same.
I'm loving the experience because I get the best of both worlds. Because it's like I'm playing RE4 again with Leon.
Yep.
Because literally, if you headshot a zombie, you can kick them right in their face with a spin kick. Sage, what are you doing? Don't no.
Why are you throwing Brad up? Shout out to Brad too.
Shout out to
Rad Brad.
I was just gonna throw some random gameplay up there so folks can understand. But
nah, that's the beginning of the game. You got to do it like nah, don't spoil it because the game just came out. So I thought you were going to play it, try and play it yourself. My bad.
Ain't this the game when we started? Well, no, damn near when we started doing the show, and the girl was with her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Damn, they made another joint in 2 years.
No,
this. Are you talking about when we were reviewing the Japanese gameplay and and the trailers for it and whatnot? Yeah, that's the same game. It's only been a year. We just reviewed that earlier, like this time last year. So it's coming out a year after that period.
Oh, that's this game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that game had already came out and they made a new one.
No.
Jesus Christ, damn, that's been a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I love everything that they did with it, T. But keep going. I didn't want to interrupt your review.
So with the game, like you get to change the camera view of whoever you want to play with. You get Grace and Leon. You play them at the same time. Grace is all stealth. Leon's all action. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I just don't like the fact that you switch characters every time they get taken out. It's not like they're in the middle of something and they're like reading something and it switches. Nah, homie get choked up. Then we go to the next person. I'm like, come on, son. Like, at least like every time something bad happens, then you switch to the other person. And then when you catch up, something bad happens, then you switch to the next person. That's so far what I've been dealing with. It might change as I get further into the story, but so far I'm enjoying it. I was trying to stream on Twitch earlier, but Twitch didn't like me playing that game on Ultra. But I was able to stream on TikTok under my T Smooth.
I love it.
Early
Check out T Smooth. Smooth Entertainment.
9 out of 10. That's so far.
That's a pretty big one. What about you, Krakow?
Man, dude. Okay, so just to in order to give my rating, I feel like I gotta explain a little bit too. Going off the things that T said, first of all, I love that. I love third-person Resident Evil, but in 7, I got kind of my first taste, I believe, with the first-person side of Resident Evil, and it was a very unique experience. It was terrifying. It was great, and I really did enjoy that. But I still love the third-person Resident. Like it's just that's the game, you know. So them being able to split that experience is really cool because there was a lot of people that enjoyed that first person view, but there's also a lot of people who did enjoy just the classic third person view. And so having both is great. What another thing that I love is off of 7, I feel like in 7 was where I really started to notice this, is that like the look mechanisms that happen within Resident Evil are like, they're already like really, really good. But like they in 7 do, like it's the way you look around the corner and you peek around is kind of got like a slow drag to it. And it adds like a level of suspense to it. They refine that even further with this game. Even on top of that, when you go into the third person, and I kept my settings like T did, even though I'm curious to see what it's like reversed. I did think about that when I first started the game. I was like, what if you put Claire, or I think her name is Claire. Yeah, you put her at third
Grace.
person, and you put Grace. Thank you. You put Grace at third person, and you put Leon at first person. What would that be like? I'm very curious.
I'm gonna do that on the second playthrough. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. Let's just go with you.
No, I agree.
Because already, I'm gonna tell you now. I don't know what it's with people of a lighter hue, whether it comes to horror movies and being portrayed in horror video games. If the gun is on the floor and there's a shotgun on the floor, and you locked yourself in a room and you just took the person out that was trying to take you out, why not unlock that door back? You know there's no one else downstairs, and go get the daggone guns.
Yeah.
On top of that, there was a murder in a hotel. Why am I being sent by myself with no backup to check this place out?
Yeah,
it was and the police
lore,
chief was black too. The police chief was black.
The moment that the game started to play and I was going into the lore, I immediately was like, they don't care. Hold up.
Don't. Hold up. I'm gonna say this line. It really doesn't pertain to any main part of the story. I need you to check this out, but you don't have to check it out. But I really need you to check this out. Nah, son. Nah. What you're telling me is I need to go check this out. I know this happened to you in your past, but I need you to check this out. But you don't have to check it out. But I need you to check it out.
Yeah, dude.
Like, where's the no button on that I can press? No.
Right.
No.
Right, bro.
Not.
You have
what
significant trauma.
This would piss me off. This would really piss me off about that. The police chief is talking to Grace when this whole thing is setting up. And the police chief is black. Why? You, like, whoever wrote his part in the story did not think
account for blackness.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
He's not wrong.
Story, you don't ever see a black man.
He's not gonna tell the person with trauma with the event, hey, yeah, bro, go run up in there by yourself. The place with the murder that just happened.
You don't have to do this.
That was
but
burnt down.
I need you to do this. When those words went into a pattern, literally he started off, I know this happened to you, and I know, like, you don't have to do it. Pause. It was a pause in that moment. But I need you to do this. There's no one else I trust, but I need you to do this. Like, Grace, where's the no button? Grace.
The lore in the way that that's set up, I wouldn't exactly say they didn't have to though, bro. They didn't have to put a lot of thought really behind it, because you going back to
the color of the police chief, I would have been okay with that.
But you go into the you got Leon back, you going back into that one style where it's like back into the house, and we're getting that all of these years later. There's so much that'll have fans hyped about this game, and they actually genuinely execute that pretty well from what I can see so far. That it just doesn't. They didn't care, and I get it. And I get it. I do. I don't normally, y'all know how much I love like good story and how much are they actually building upon the character development, et cetera, et cetera. This is one of those moments where you will actually get me saying, I don't care. I don't care about the story. I don't care. All I want is to play this game, how this game is set up. In terms of rating, I'd give it a Yeah. Right now, I probably am on 9 out of 10 too. 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Still pisses me off though.
All
Black
right.
man does not send somebody with trauma into something that they already had to deal with. Nah.
Very early though. I'm very early. It sounds like T is as well. Pretty early into the game, so you might get more from us on this. But it everything that they said it should deliver. Right now, it feels like it is delivering.
Very nice, very nice. Alrighty then. Oh, also, my bad. Some more updates. Supposedly for that God of War game, Faye is supposed to be the main character, and combat is supposedly closer to Devil May Cry as well. So, interesting take on
Wait,
God of
say that
War.
again.
Faye is supposed to
woman?
be, yeah, Faye is supposed to be the main character.
No, I wasn't being funny. Like I was just trying to generally figure out. Like
I was.
Yo,
They already
I
lost
ain't
my
even.
contribution.
Here we go. I can't.
Yeah, Faye is supposed to be the main character. Combat is supposed to be closer to Devil May Cry, supposedly.
So
Oh,
what is
okay.
this called? Can I know?
No call as of yet right now. It's still early. Like the announcement is supposed to come out next year.
But see, this don't make sense because people were intrigued about Faye's story with her missing from the first game. The second game, we thought we would have got a little bit more of her instead of just, some little cutscene or whatever. Having a whole TV show where she's the main character, you all didn't build up the hype.
Nah, it's a game.
The God of War game?
It's a game.
Yeah, it's a new game that they doing.
Oh, nigga, I thought you were talking about the TV show. I'm about to say, yeah, it's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, even the game's some bullshit. I'll tell you that right now. She about to get a game. See, bro, you can't, bro. We had Kratos since 2005. You can't give me a character for 20 years and be like, well, we're gonna give you his wife that he married when he became a Norse nigga, and we only showed y'all a clip of her in one game. She about to get her own game, but then we left off a cliffhanger with his son.
Norse nigga is crazy.
Like, what we about to do, bro? Who about to who's the? I'm not even trying to sound. You know what? Fuck how I sound.
Wait, but
Wait.
Disclaimer. Hold up. Disclaimer.
I'm gonna say nothing crazy.
Wait.
disclaimer.
Nothing crazy. Who is the target audience for this? Because since 2018, when this game came out, there hasn't been a sentence uttered by a human on planet Earth that said, I can't wait until they make a game with Kratos' wife.
Well, the lead part is the part I don't. It's the main character, or is it like the main antagonist, or the main character that kind of throws me off. I would think Atreus would be a better main character in this round. I don't get that. That's where it's
Kratos would be a better main character.
Well, yeah, I of course, but like, if you had to go second, I'm not picking. Why?
I'm picking Thor, Odin, Balder, one of them twins. I'll pick the World Serpent over this hoe.
I'm weak.
Let me stop. I'm joking. I can't wait to pick up this game.
It won't be jokes then.
No, because you know what? If they going all out with the Faye game, I want every girl I pass by that play video games to talk about how good this game is. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I need them to talk about how much they love playing as Faye in this God of War IP, because it just really don't make sense. 20 years of Kratos and we going with a Faye game that nobody asked for.
I just don't get it.
And then if the game underperforms, I don't want to hear this. Well, men weren't buying the game.
No.
Nah, dude, that's
if men are going to buy the game. Men are going to buy the game.
Yeah,
they're going to, because you have a lot of GOONER that will play this game.
They have gooners. This game better be full of Aphrodite scenes, like it was in God of War 3. Remember that scene?
Remember that scene?
Or is it just me? No?
No, it's not just you.
Am I the only one that went to revisit Aphrodite's chambers?
You were the only one that went.
You know how many times I played that game on easy just so I can get to that
You
part really
actually,
quickly?
you and T. I should have said that. I spoke way too soon. Because T probably the only person outside of you that's revisited it more.
Yeah.
I just don't get the mechanics of that. That's really my only complaint. I would have to see more. I just don't understand how that will line up best for God of War's.
Maybe they try.
IP.
Maybe they try and ease us into a possible game with Atreus, since he'll have more of the magic element too, kind of like a Fae. If I'm not
But it's
mistaken.
changing the game completely. You may as well just make a like. You see, I hope it doesn't have God of War on it then.
It will.
Maybe it's gonna tell her side of how she had all of this planned out when she met Kratos or whatnot, because she did map out the whole game.
Yeah.
In the first one go around.
Right.
So maybe we going through that and we going to see what adventure she was on. I mean, that'd be cool. But that just could have been a mission.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, bro. Like I don't. It just fit. The feel of that sounds like a completely different game. It just doesn't make me think God of War. Not knocking it. Like it still could really. Again, even with Faye being the main character, like I'm not gonna sit here and say that studio they're gonna make a bad game or that's the direction that it could go. And I do think that it could be a good game. I just don't understand it, and I don't understand how it ties to. I understand how it ties to God of War, but I don't understand on a mechanics basis where that's gonna attract me the same way that Kratos would. Like
It's not. And if it does, they're gonna have a Kratos heavy trailer. They're gonna put him in every trailer. They're gonna show all the action. And then
you could fool me. I still gotta play the game.
Yeah, but you spend your $75 thinking I'm about to start off as Kratos, and then bam, he in like 4 scenes.
Yeah.
Nah, because they still gotta show gameplay, and it's like I don't know, but you know what? Look, just you gotta wait and see, because they could end up smoking it, and you'd be like, bro, I never saw this. How they could tie this around like this. That happens, and it could be one of those things where I'm like, yo, bro.
When does that happen?
I mean, it does happen, and when we're talking about video games, it can happen where they could bring in, like we just got done talking about Resident Evil. You know how many different times they brought in different characters with Resident Evil, and it ended up being a success. They can't, and also still maintaining the Resident Evil feel. It could get it done. I just don't know. I just can't see it at this exact moment. But I'm not going to doubt it. I'm not going to just completely write them out yet, because they might have something in the tuck.
I will completely write them off, and I hope I'm proven wrong, because this game is going to be shite.
Yeah.
Only because it's in the God of War mythos, and it's not its own standalone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hearing it as its own standalone. I'm like, yeah, but hearing it in the God of War tie, it's just difficult.
I am intrigued with the Devil May Cry type of gameplay in the God of War series. I am intrigued by that.
I don't know if I love that.
I'm gonna say this.
A little bit faster pace.
My thing is, when it comes to God of War, it already had that Devil May Cry.
Yeah, exactly.
It literally already had that.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Yeah. So if you look at the original God of War 1, 2, and 3, that is Devil May Cry. Like this new age Devil May Cry 5 and the reboot that they tried to do, which was not a success. It could work, but they can't do that over the shoulder type gameplay for the last 2 that came out.
Yeah. No.
They can't do that.
No.
If you're going to do that, it has to be God of War 1, 2, and 3 style of camera and fighting.
Right. Which is that what this is essentially saying is we're going to take this character and we're going to go back to essentially to the basics. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest with you.
And create like a new story. But then that's why I'm saying don't put the God of War name on it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
No, they can because they did just release that retro version looking one called God of War: Sons of Sparta. So you could do that as like a God of War Presents type ordeal.
yeah, but I don't want God.
They're going to have to do that to get people to buy the product.
Buy it.
Yo.
I know what you mean.
Don't y'all think it would be better if they just remastered all the God of War joints?
We're already getting that.
Yeah.
We are?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're doing a complete overhaul, and T.C. Carson's coming back to voice him.
Yeah.
Coming back, the voice. They already got his voice on there.
Or to redo it.
They're
like
redoing everything from the
Yeah.
ground up.
We're
From the
talking about
story
audio
too, or-
from
Yeah,
2005.
well, the story's gonna be the same. Like they're still going to use the same like storyline and everything going across, and same line. They're just redoing the lines. They're doing the code, so it's in like 4K, 120 frames per second.
You know
Everything
what?
like they're redoing.
They need to do it over and give him his bag the way they
Thank
just
you.
dropped him.
Yeah.
Damn. I'd rather just wait for that instead. Let me not be ignorant. You know, we probably have some female fans out there if they haven't already.
I like how you had that disclaimer at the bottom, so we got to make sure not to record that.
I'm curious to see more, but it's just I don't want to. The way that it sounds, I don't want to look at this game as a God of War game. That's all I'm saying. I'd rather look at it as this is a new game from the people who've made God of War.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but how they did Sons of Sparta, that game was a success, and it still had the moniker of God of War.
God of War, yeah,
Sons
and
of
like you
Sparta.
said, T,
They
they
can
gonna do that for
They
marketing
have to
and
do
selling
that to get people to buy this
purposes,
game
right?
because people wasn't going to buy a game called Son of Sparta. Yeah, it
Right.
got Cradle in, but they're not going to buy that game unless God of War was
Is attached on it, right?
Technically, spoiler alert. Technically, Faye is dead, right?
Yeah.
She's been dead.
So, and I mean, yeah, this might go into more details of how Kratos got there to begin with, you know?
And that's what I was thinking. This is more like how they did Black Widow. It's like, y'all should have released this game when Shorty was alive or something, but she died right at the beginning of God of War.
Yeah.
When he was a Norse god.
Oh yeah.
Like the game started off with them buried.
Damn.
Well, it was taking her ashes to spread around Jotunheim,
Right.
Whatever. So
Who
it's
knows?
like,
Nope. My bad.
it's like, damn.
I don't know.
I think it's still too early for me to put my 2 cents on it. I'm curious. It leaves me intrigued, but
Bless
I
you,
gotta
by
see
the way,
more.
too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Still gotta check it out to see what it is. Also, another news, which I don't know if this news that y'all really care for, but supposedly Tom Holland and Zendaya have recently gotten married. So that's official now, I believe. So congratulations to them.
Yeah.
My boy got married, and now he about to don the black suit. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful time it is to be
Gets
alive.
to go from happy to emo in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yo, did y'all see the creator of Venom saying that he hates how they do that in movies and games?
What?
How, like, the intention of Venom wasn't to make Spider-Man evil. Yes, it made Spider-Man more powerful, but the thing is, once Spider-Man found out that the suit was alive, it kind of like it grossed him out. He's like, "Oh my god, like this thing is trying to bond with me and it's alive." But Venom is like a spurned lover, so that's the only reason he goes back to keep fighting Spider-Man. The thing is, he still wants Peter Parker, but Peter Parker doesn't want it because he's still creeped out by it. So he's like, I just wish they would play on that more instead of saying, "Oh, it turns Spider-Man evil. That's why he has to get rid of the suit." It's really like a relationship that isn't understood by the symbiote as to why Peter Parker doesn't want it. But then, Eddie Brock is the one that
Just straight up the comic book lore.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wish that they
I had to reread that. I'm like, dang, I didn't even know that. Because even when we watched it as kids, it was like, damn, on that Spider-Man animated show, you had a different outlook on it. But now that he came out and said that, it's like, damn, maybe, just going back and reading it, because he talked about it after Secret Wars. I was like, damn, that's kind of interesting. But I don't know. I do want to see how they, which way they go with it for Tom Holland.
I would not be mad if they did kind of stick more to the comic book with it, but I just think like this is where analytics and things play a part. And I mean, there was so much conversation back in the past and even today on like the Tobey Maguire black suit and how he was acting, and like you see all of the memes and stuff for it, that I think that will play a part that would play a part with them. As much as I don't think that they need to do that, I think that it's just one of those. And then we know that Tobey Maguire is coming back. I don't know how much that might play in the Tom Holland suit, but yeah,
I
don't know.
know.
Talk about that, Rob.
I know what we missed out on, but I think we're gonna save it. I think we're gonna save it for another pod. We gonna have to go in the detail.
Yeah.
If you haven't, I'm gonna just bring it up to y'all before we end it out tonight. If y'all haven't been tuned in to what's been going on, supposedly massive leak of Avengers Doomsday, including the entire plot for Avengers Doomsday, how it starts, certain characters dying in the first scene of the movie has come out. A lot of stuff. Again, it's a lot of leaks, rumors, spoilers, all that jazz. So I don't necessarily know if it's real. Give us a week so we can do our due diligence just to make sure and corroborate this information, see how the other leakers are feeling on them, and then we're gonna come back and devote majority of the episode like we usually do on it next week. All right, but other than that, I think we all set, dang, and he left at the most inopportune time. I should have started this. I should have started this before he left. So he knows. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think. Yeah. I mean, I guess we could bring it up real quick. I promise you, I don't want to talk about it further after I bring it up. I don't.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Because we gonna talk about that shit until 2 a.m.
First thoughts.
I hope, like, just from reading that, what I read, I hope they use no music, like how Sam Raimi does in the movies in those fight scenes.
No music.
Like, imagine that intro and you seeing Spider-Man against Wolverine, Deadpool, and earlier reports said he was going to be fighting alongside Doc Ock, which would be kind of crazy because he is the only hero in that universe. So if he had his own little Sinister Six fighting alongside him and they lose, like, that would be crazy. But I really think for this to be to hit, I think no music, just in the first few minutes, just hands, bro, just straight hands. The whole Green Goblin throwing hands. I don't care what nobody say. I need to see that nigga throwing hands too.
Ooh-wee. All right then. Yeah. So if y'all want to hear more about what's been going on with the leaks and the plot leaks for Avengers
I just thought about it. That would be fire, bro. And then the Doomsday logo part pop
just
up
like Batman
after the
Superman,
conclusion of it. It's like, all right, this is the movie y'all watching.
Yeah.
Here was the hands, no music, limited or no dialogue, just them going at it. And then when you finally get maybe the largest dialogue portion of it, that's right before you cue the title screen. And then you got what, 2 hours and 15 minutes left a movie.
Ain't no potty breaks in that mug. None.
2 hours and 15 after a scene like that.
Okay.
Bro, I'm gonna have to go to the earliest screening for this joint because I swear to God, if there's a kid in the theater and I hear some crying, I might turn into an ignorant ass nigga. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear no crying. I don't want no questions being asked. None of that.
I've never had that happen.
Yeah, it just be our luck though that this the movie that it happened in.
Yeah. You'd be like, right now, turn all that off. I don't know, but they gotta go.
Shut up.
Damn, this is gonna be an IMAX though, ain't it?
No.
No, because of Dune. So Dune, I think, is taking priority right now. It's only going to do it at select theaters for IMAX for Doomsday. And then once Dune's IMAX is completed, I think that's when Doomsday takes up.
You want to know why I don't think they hate that? Is because if the movie is as good as they obviously would anticipate it being, you know how many people going to want to go back to see that in IMAX?
I think people gonna want to see people are gonna be like, you know what, this week I'm gonna see Doomsday, next week I'll see Doom. Like, cool. And I'm sure kids ain't lining up to see Doom. Like, a family of 6 ain't gonna be like, all right, let's go see Doom and Doomsday. Nobody's spending $200 to go see movies. Nope. So I can see them going to Doomsday, but I still think both movies gonna make sense.
Doomsday is getting 2 to 3 watches out of me. I'm gonna say that now. At least 2 to 3.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because the movie drops around what? Near in December?
November.
Yeah. No, he actually kind of that makes sense.
December?
It does
Yeah, I
make
think
sense because
December.
it's not gonna hit
So,
IMAX for a while.
It's like this. I gotta see it on my birthday. That's where I'm going. I'm gonna see it when it releases, and I'm just gonna pick a random day in between because you never know what you're gonna miss. And with this being a big movie with all these actors and actresses,
Yeah.
I'm not missing nothing.
But
I
you'll
see.
get
So
that
right
out
now,
of
my
the
record,
second
my
one.
record for seeing the same movie over and over again in theaters: Black Panther 5 times.
Ooh, that shit wasn't that good.
The first one.
Yeah, that shit wasn't that good, nigga.
He was like, no. I know what you meant.
I had Movie Pass at the time, so they was getting Movie Pass money.
Okay.
It's like this. I was trying to make sure that movie did a bill. I was trying to
He is like, they're getting their numbers.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I will tell you the truth. On the fifth watch, it was me sitting there.
Just here, take some more, get some more money.
Yo, wait a minute. That joint come out this year, though, don't it?
Yeah, we get Spider-Man in July, and then we get Doomsday in December.
December, yeah.
Secret
Wars the year
I'm gonna be
following.
honest with you, and I know, like, I'm fine that it is coming out at the end of the year because it's cold and we want something to enjoy. I'm not mad at that, but the Avenger movies during like May and June, it's just something about that, bro. Like it hits so different,
Bro, when it popped our cherries.
the first Avengers movie that we all saw that together.
Yeah,
we saw it.
We saw that shit. I thought about this the other day. We saw that. We met up at the mall. This was a good day before all that streaming shit. Met up at the mall. We was first in line at Regal. You had to be first in line to go get your seats. It was me, Niall, James, Thomas, Ernest Stolly Perez. Shout out my nigga Trey Perez. I was there. I think Isaiah McLeod was there.
It was like a reunion.
I'm talking about names, goddamn.
Yes.
It was a whole slew of niggas.
Yes.
And we was in the top seats in the theater in the middle section.
Yes.
And that was in May, bruh.
Yes.
That's like Niall is right. That springtime close to summer when everything is calm, the weather good. You got your Avengers movie. It's nostalgic. Not like fuck it, put it out on Christmas.
Bro. Yo, because I like every time that an Avengers movie came out, because the same thing happened, if I'm not mistaken, for Infinity War and Endgame, where it was like around that time.
Yeah.
And I remember like after it was done, I went with Nar and my uncle actually to see it. Like the three, because we literally, it was the only ones that was left in Buffalo. Sad, but we was the only ones. Rob, I don't know where you was at the time, but
all over the place.
But like after we got done watching it, it was nice out. So we went and got like food and drinks at one of the outdoor venues and whatnot too, and just talked about the movie for like 3 hours. Like that's what you get when it's in that warm, good weather, not during the winter where you just want to go back. Like I know what's gonna happen with this movie. As soon as I get done seeing it, I'm gonna be like, man, that was amazing. I'm gonna talk to y'all about it through text. I'm gonna just end up going right back home. That's gonna be the finality of it. It's like having that moment where when it come out in May-June period, even July, I take that. When you get that time frame, it's like, nah, let me go. I might would hit somebody up. If they had that movie come out here, I'd probably hit somebody up in the theater. Like, yo, y'all want to go get drinks and whatnot? And just go talk about this movie outside somewhere? I need to digest this.
Yeah, this shit about to be crazy.
Yeah, bro. And if it's the craziest one yet, oh my god.
Ain't no if. They ain't got
exactly.
No choice,
That's
the craziest
exactly. Exactly. So I'm gonna be coming out that movie like, bruh. What? And it's a part 1, so you know they gonna leave you on that cliffhanger, bro. And if they top in the Infinity War cliffhanger in the movie, mind you, this topic got brought up because we have a rumor opening scene that is a carnage. That's supposed to be pure carnage, and then it ends on a cliffhanger crazier than Infinity War did. Come on, bro. Come on.
It's crazy. All right. If y'all want to hear more about this, tune in for
Next
next week's episode. All right. Also, just to let T know, Crimson Desert has been copped. So if you want to get ready to download that bad boy on the PlayStation, let me know. Nonetheless, deluxe edition too. Nonetheless,
I am busy playing Pokemon. I'm trying to be a Pokemon master and take down Umbrella Corp in the same fashion. I ain't trying to be in no daggone desert.
You could do
You
that
gonna be in the
and ride the
desert, bro.
dragon in Crimson Desert. All right, you can multitask. You was just talking about multitasking, playing toucan Pokemon at the same time. I'm pretty sure you can ride a dragon and catch a Pokemon or two.
I ain't trying to ride nothing, so you on your own when it comes to that.
I'm riding a dragon. I don't care what you say.
Well, that's what you call it. Okay.
All right. Nonetheless, we will catch y'all next week. We appreciate y'all yet again. Please, again, make sure that y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit that noti bell to stay tuned for all drops that we have. And also, make sure that you stay active in that comment section and let us know how you feeling about the pod. If y'all got some recommendations, if y'all liking our takes, if y'all not, let us know, please. We greatly appreciate that. But thank y'all yet again for another week. Y'all be easy, stay safe out there, and we will catch y'all next week. Peace. I had a $50 PlayStation rewards card.
He said, "Oh, it's happening right now."
Bet.
I want all the smoke. Yeah, running trash bags of that green, whipping fast, the whip color of cocaine. I'm independent, they independent to stop these dreams on the road to riches. Focus on the ticket back to my.
All right, so I'm about to hop out.
It's like now I'm just trying to float. There's a couple holes up in this boat. Dose my mind just so I can quote. They focus on the dollar, feel like I'm a migrant, just touch a new island. Every time I smoke, regardless, ain't no way I'ma miss my target when I got it locked up in my scope.